All right, hello, and welcome everybody to another stream. I'm just fine. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. Today, we're going to be in the beautiful A2A Simulations Piper Comanche. This is the Piper 250. We're flying in Brampton, which is Charlie November, Charlie 3. Don't really have too long tonight to stream, but we're definitely going to be back in this again soon. Tonight, I only have time maybe for a 30-40 minute stream, and then I'm unfortunately going to have to call it a night there. But we are on VATSIM, and we'll just probably do a couple circuits. Maybe we'll head out to the PA first, then come back for a couple circuits. That's about it. So I don't think we really need to put a flight plan in. Maybe I will just in case. But this aircraft, if you don't know, is a fully it's a fully living and breathing aircraft. It has a full walk-around mode with sumping the fuel, checking the oil, removing tie downs, checking for actual damage that will accumulate over time as you use it. The oil quantity and quality will degrade over time if you don't check it or add more oil. Spark plugs will fail if you don't lean them on the ground. So a bunch of really cool stuff. A really cool one I find is if you leave this airplane sitting overnight in a cold space outside, and you forget to put the engine block heater in, the next morning your oil is going to be very, very cold, and potentially the engine might not even start. So you'll have to warm it up and then do all that. So you can go as realistic with this as you would like to, basically. So we're not going to be able to showcase the full walk-on thing today. I'm going to quickly kind of just get it ready to go. But the next time when I have actual time to stream this, we will do the whole walker and everything. But yeah, this is the Comanche. It's a cool airplane. It's a pretty quick little thing. Retractable gear, and it's a constant speed prop as well. So if you have if you've never used a constant speed, it basically you can control the actual RPM with a handle inside. So, and not necessarily the power output, just the RPM output. So yeah, we're gonna get this thing on the road. Let me go ahead and maybe I'll just make a very quick little flight plan. I don't know if VATSIM really needs one or not. I'm not sure. But just to be on the safe side, we'll go ahead and just make a quick little flight plan. Give you guys some cool cinematics. See if there's even a Comanche. See if there's even a Comanche one here. I don't know if there is, but we can do that later on. VFR. We'll generate that, and we're going to get this show on the road. I'm going to say thank you so much to Burke joining in. Dominic says he's joining, just loading in. Sweet. And Cat Gary, hello, welcome. Says it's good looking aircraft. It's amazing. Hello, nice airplane. Yeah, thanks, David. Thanks for stopping in. It is a very good looking one. Very, very good. If you guys haven't ever heard of A2A, it's probably the most in-depth aircraft you can buy for Microsoft Flight Sim. It's very, very well done. We're just going to submit our flight plan now. And we're good to go. So let's jump in the airplane. We'll say the walk-around's completed. You have full checklist as well at your disposal if you'd like to do it. We'll press the back button here. A2A Comanche. So flight info. You got some good info about what's going on with the weather currently outside. Checklists, emergency checklists, some speeds and flap settings and all sorts of stuff you guys can look for different configurations of whenever you're going to use it. In the controls tab, you can control no GPS, 530, 430, RNAV capable, or just radio nav like that, whatever you want to do. We'll put in just a 430, a nice classic little 430 in there. Parking brake, wheel chocks, all this kind of stuff. Let's remove everything outside. You can even start the airplane from here, which is kind of funny. Engine heater, jacks. I think there's even a tow bar. That's what the T is. You can pull it or push it. Really, really cool stuff. But yeah, so I have this kind of already set the way. Oh, that's kind of cool. I've already set the way I like it. Fuel load. Let's make myself. I weigh a bit more than that in real life. Let's do it. Well, it's gonna take forever to actually get to my weight, but we'll do it like that. That's enough fuel for today as well. And then maintenance. You have a full maintenance side as well. you can do an inspection. All right, everything's green, and over time, you can overhaul the aircraft, you can overhaul certain parts, you can change the type of propeller, you can change the type of oil for different climates, all sorts of really cool stuff. So this airplane, if you want to dive into an airplane, I highly, highly recommend getting into that one. Oh, I want to put the iPad back in the pouch. But that's a little control lock, so you can get rid of like that. Something else I want to mention, guys, we're going to be using the Moza AY210 yoke. And I'll put the camera back on for you guys here. There it is. And I didn't have time. I've been playing some DCS, so I didn't have time to change, but I just keep my DCS throttle going. We have throttle, mixture, and prop all in the HOTAS section here. And this is the Moza AY210 force feedback yoke with a custom profile that I made as well. I used the default Tony's profile and then edited what I liked better out of it. So we've edited that. You guys can find the link for that in the description as well, as you guys all know. The sound should all be up. Put the game capture up as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to get this thing all started up. And last thing we're using is Track IR. If I turn it on, we can look left and right, fly the circuit with our Track IR there. We'll reset it. I'll turn it off for now. That might be Dominic right there, actually. So let's get this thing started. Check your normal piston engine aircraft. So first thing you're going to want is the battery master. We'll take a look. I don't know where the temps would be. I guess here. The oil temperature is kind of cold, so we can anticipate that it hasn't flown in a bit, and we'll do a little bit of a prime on it. We can also go ahead and get our beacon light on, and our navigation lights if we even have those. I don't think we do. So that's it. We'll leave the beacon on. Coming down here, we'll select our fuel pumps to the both position. We'll select our mixture to full rich. The prop is full forward as well. And we're just going to open up just a little bit of the air. So not too much, about 1/4 inch you're going to want. So just a little bit of air in there. And now we can go ahead and start priming the engine. We're going to basically insert some fuel in the engine. So when we go and start the key or turn the starter, it has a little bit of juice to go over with. So we'll do about 3 primes. Actually, we'll do about 4. Okay, there's 4. And can you lock it? You can even lock it. That's a real feature as well. Don't forget to lock it in real life, because it might prime as you're even flying. You don't want that to happen. Turn the key. Turn both magnetos to both, and then we're gonna hit and hold the starter. But sometimes you got to give it a little bit of pump of air of the throttle there. But we'll see how it goes. We're gonna click the starter button here. Okay, let's give it a pump. There she goes. And we're going to reduce back to 1,000 RPM. Perfect. Instruments are coming all alive. We can go down here. We can select our avionics master on. We can also go ahead and lean our mixture on the ground. We don't want a full rich mixture on the ground, as the spark plugs can have a bit of residue that can get attached to them over time. A little sensitive in the sim, but over time it will do it. And eventually your mags... once you do your run-up checks, your mags will kind of fail that test. We did a flap test as well, but again, I don't have too much time. We're just gonna keep it on going. So that's pretty much it. Your avionics master is on. The autopilot is off. Obviously, we'll go ahead and get this all sorted by pressing enter, and that's all good to go. Our gyro instruments. Let's see. We're 055 there. 055 there. Very rare than real life that actually match when you start it up, but that's fine. Altimeter wise, we'll press B. It'll set it up properly for us there. That's all good to go. Fuel pressure and oil temperatures, everything is all good and ready to go as well. Let's move this, if I can move it a little bit more out of the way. We have beautifully designed flight deck. It's very, very well done by A2A. A2A makes great products. They're one of my favorite developers for this sim. It's a shame they only make GA stuff, but they have so much heart and soul. So we'll do 123.3 on the frequency, which can be done in here. 23.3. I'll put it up to the top. We can select our parking brake off, and the airplane will start to roll. We're going to bring the thrust to idle, tap our brakes, and the brakes are checked and working. And we're going to go ahead and taxi out, and we'll go ahead and give our little radio call. Actually, I think I might have to change my push to talk button here.
Radio check.
5x5. There we go. Now I got my radio push to talk button working. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my track IR so I can just look around.
Go open first.
Roger. That's Mr. Dominic flying with us as well. Appreciate you flying. But yeah, track IR is pretty cool. You can just look around and the screen will move. It's very, very good for VFR type flying. We're going to go to the run-up circle first, and we'll perform a very quick little run-up just because in this sim, you could find something that actually is broken before your flight goes. So you're going to want to go ahead and do that. The wind's pretty much dead, and it's coming from the... Oh, you know what? I don't have my active sky started. Let's start our weather app there. Turn my track IR off for the time being, just so I don't make you guys go insane. Do we use Toronto CTAF or 22.8? I'm using 23.3. I don't know if that's correct, but that's the real Brampton frequency, so that's what I'm going to use. Can I see graphic settings, please? Since I have a whole graphic setting video on my channel, be sure to go check that out. It's an entire settings guide of what I use. I'm just going to wait for the weather to load, and that'll determine which corner I go into, because I need to face my engine into the wind, sorry. So as we're waiting, I'll hold the brakes at 1,000 RPM. Always want to idle around 1,000. You don't want to idle at straight idle. You always want to idle at 1,000 or so. There's the wind's picking up, so it is still 3.3. And so we're going to put ourselves in this corner, and we'll perform our run up there. Oh, never mind, it's complete changed again. That's fine, we'll just let it go. It's close enough. Never seen this mag compass match? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, real life, the mag and the heading indicator and the compass don't match usually on startup right away. Put ourselves right in this corner. Some aircraft you can pull the yoke right up to get a little bit of less pressure on that nose gear, which means you might be able to turn it a little tighter. We'll stop it there. Make sure the nose gear is centered when you stop it. Parking brake set, but we're still going to hold our brakes because usually these parking brakes are pretty terrible. I don't know the procedure for a run-up. It's probably actually in here, but let's go ahead and see. So I'll press this. Oh, nope. That one. A2A. And home. Nope. Flight info. Checklist. Run-up. There we go. So position of the wind, check. Brakes are all on and holding. Fuel quantity is checked. We're full in both tanks there. We're all good. The fuel selector is desired tank. We're on both. Or on... Both of them are on. Mixture full rich. Throttle 2,000 RPM. Nice and slowly. Brakes are holding. It's a lot of RPM. Oops. Alrighty. Engine instruments, oil pressure, temp, fuel pressure, ammeter vacuum check. So pressure's green. Oil temp is green, fuel pressure is green. To check the amps, what we're going to do, the flaps in this airplane aren't electric. In the sets, you can wiggle the flaps, but what we can do is we can go ahead and turn on... Oh, I think the iPad's getting in the way. We can turn on some of these lights here, and the fuel pump and the pitot heat just for a little bit, and the amps are still charging the battery, so we're not discharging. That's all good. Turn what we don't need back off. Magnetos check. So for this check, we're going to go and do the magneto to the left first. You're going to see a drop, and it doesn't tell you how much. Oh, it does. 125 max RPM. So go left. So that mag is terrible. You can just see we found a pretty bad magneto. Now there is a trick in real life. What I can do is I can start to lean this mixture out. And this sometimes works. If I just run this magneto just on the cusp of dying out, basically, as you're hearing, what I'm doing is I'm starving it of fuel, and if you do that, it gets very hot, and sometimes you can actually burn off the carbon composite while doing that. So we'll leave it like this for a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and bring it back to full ridge. You going to buy the E-Jets? No. On the Piper 28, the parking brake was far superior to the 172, so we would use it. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Flight instructor isn't no, exactly, my friend. This brings me right back to my my real life job. Or at least used to be anyways. Let's go ahead and add our mixture back in. We're going to go back to both. Now you can see that mag is pretty much dead. So let's go check the right one real quick. Yeah, the right one's performing perfectly fine. Let's go back over here to maintenance. And we'll hit engine. Let's just go ahead and clean the spark plugs. Now if I go left, now the mag performs properly. So look, we found a dead, or not a dead mag, but a pretty bad mag. I wouldn't go flying with that in real life at all. So that's why we do these checks. Let's go back to flight info checklist. We checked both are fine. Prop will cycle 3 times. Now, if I remember correctly, you're going to be checking a couple things here. So this is the prop handle. You're changing the RPM. So first thing you want to verify the RPM does actually change. There you go. That's the first one. Second one, you can see your manifold pressure here is going to increase as it goes to the relative outside ambient pressure. And the last one, I believe, is the fuel pressure, or maybe the oil pressure that changes. Yeah, oil pressure. And back in the green. Those are the 3 I believe you check. It doesn't tell you, but that's from my memory banks in the old days. Then reduce RPM to 1800 and check steady. Carb heat check. Nice. I can go back in and we can reduce back to 1000 RPM. Actually, let's go in. It doesn't say to go idle, but it's in real life. It's good to do an idle check to make sure the engine can idle nicely. I like to put that iPad back in there. But anyways, the engine is now idling nicely. Back to 1000 RPM. If I can move that out of the way, there's got to be a way to do that. This button? There we go. Perfect. So that performed quite well. We're going to go ahead and do the parking brake off, and we're going to taxi out to runway 33. We're clear on the left. Dom's holding for us. Now, this airport in real life is an uncontrolled airport, and in being that, you actually don't need a radio at all legally to actually fly out of here, believe it or not. So you don't have to make any radio calls at all. We don't really do taxi calls or anything. We do, obviously, entering runways and, base, final, all that kind of stuff, but we never really give taxi call-outs ever. Flight instructor's home. Do you buy this plane? How do I buy this plane? Yeah, I bought this plane. I bought it a long time ago. I bought it for 2020 originally, and it's on A2A's website. You can buy it through the marketplace or buy it straight from A2A themselves. It is fantastic. It's amazing airplane. Really, 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 really well done. So we're going to get to the end of the runway, and we'll do our at-runway checks, if that even has it. Let's see. Before takeoff. Yeah, we'll do that over there. We're clear left and clear on the right. Training 172s and Seminoles at Calm Air Aviation Academy like 25 years ago. Never had the pleasure of flying a 250. How do you like the A2A rendition? I love it. It's beautiful. Yeah, I've only flown 172 and Seminole as well in the piston category. But this airplane is really, really nice. But as soon as that A2A Cessna 172 comes out, we're going to be doing a lot of flight instructor type content. So be ready. Be ready for that. I updated my chase plane, and now the flyby view works. I think I'll have to stick just to circuits tonight, guys, because I do have to go. So we'll probably get 3 circuits in. I'll have to call it a night. Maybe we'll do a P180 on the last one. Precision 180. That's where I'll bring the engine to idle and simulate an engine failure. James, yeah, this is an amazing aircraft. I've loved A2A for years. My first A2A aircraft was the Cessna, the 172, which was in FSX, but I own their Piper Cherokee, their Cessna, their Constellation. A lot of their stuff is really, really good. James, 100%, man. 100%. This is a full send. I'm surprised. I'm usually surprised of how little A2A is known in the community. They have been around for a lot of years, and in my opinion, they produce the best aircraft of all the aircrafts. Phoenix, all of them. It's more in depth than all of them. Now you can argue that Obviously, an A320 is more complex than this airplane, so that allows them to go a little bit more in depth because it's a little bit simpler. But they do such an amazing job in this category of aircraft. In my opinion, A2A is the hands down winner of most realistic. So we'll come to a stop here, nice and gentle. We'll set the parking brake. Alrighty, actually don't really do that usually. I'll just hold the brakes with my feet. We'll get rid of that. 1000 RPM idle. Bring out our little checklist here. Controls. Check for free and correct. Can't really see the tail all that much, the stabilator, but you're more looking for that the feeling is correct as well. Oops, sorry about that. Wrong button started. I'll give you guys the camera so you guys can see the Moza yoke. You can check this out in the links in the description if you want to see the yoke I'm using. Elevator trim neutral is required. Rudder trim's neutral. Doors are latched. The flaps, we're going to go, I believe it's 0 for this thing. I don't know if they take off with flap. We'll do 0. It should be fine. Fuel selectors are on main. Fuel pump on. There we go. Mixture full rich. Prop full forward. Carb heat is off. We never want the carb heat on the ground. This is usually not filtered air. Engine gauge is checked. We're all in the green there. The pitot heat's not required. Strobes on and landing lights. So we'll go ahead and get rid of our iPad here. And strobe, landing lights on. We can go ahead and take off. So I'll say prime traffic, Foxtrot Yankee Alpha Lima, departing runway 33 for the circuit. We're clear on the right side. And let's go ahead and turn my track IR on so I can look left and right. This runway is only 3,500 feet long. The other runway that we can use here is only 2,500 feet long.
Rapid traffic, Charlie Foxtrot, from Papa.
What airport is this? This is a Payware Brampton Charlie November Charlie 3 scenery. It's actually where I trained out of and taught and instructed out of as well. So we'll go ahead and get all nice and lined up on my 3-3. Kind of went airliner mode on that lineup. Forgot what I was flying. Anyways, we'll get it all centered out. Not too much wind, so not much wind correction. And we'll go ahead and smoothly add full power here. Gonna need a little bit of right rudder for the asymmetric thrust, P factor, and the torque and all that great stuff. Airspeed's alive. Now this is all in miles an hour, so I'm gonna best estimate what I should be climbing out on. I'm having to hold a little bit of right rudder right now. If I didn't, you can see that's what the nose does, right? So I gotta hold that right rudder in to counteract the propeller spinning in the most layman terms. All right, let's go ahead and reduce our manifold to 25 for the climb. There's 400 feet, so we'll turn crosswind. Prime traffic, Foxtrot Yankee Alpha Lima, turn crosswind 33. Alrighty, those are all looking good. I have the Moza AY210 buck. The MFY yoke handle is on back order for the last month. Is it? Oh my gosh, I would hate that. Okay, there's 1,900 feet. That's the circuit altitude. We're going to loosen our power, or decrease our power is what I should say. Steepen our bank, and that'll do two things. It'll turn us on downwind, and it's also going to go ahead and level us off at circuit altitude. Bram traffic, Foxtrot Yankee Alpha Lima, downwind 33. Alrighty. Like to fly nice tight circuits in real life. Obviously, one thing is you don't need to fly further than you really need to. But the second thing is if you lose an engine, you always want to make sure you can make that field that you're flying on. So it's always a good idea to be able to do that. All right, let's go ahead and do our little bit downwind checks here. Our lights are on, temperature pressures and all are in the green. Mixture full rich, prop is full rich. We'll go ahead and grab the gear. I left it down because we're going to stay in the circuit, so that's okay. The gear's down with the green light. And a little bit of brake pressure.
Charlie Foxtrot from Papa's turning right base for the circuit.
Now, the way I'm holding this 1,900 feet very easily is I'm not looking at any of this garbage. This is all useless information. What you want to do, and I'm going to pause my track error, what you want to go ahead and do is you're going to want to look outside, and you want, maybe not that low, 1/3 of this is ground, and the other 2/3 is sky. And if you hold that, you'll be in level flight. Let's go ahead and reduce our power a little bit, do our first notch of flap, And we'll turn base. Bram Traffic, it's Foxtrot Yankee Alpha Lima, turning base 33. About to say an old call sign I used to fly. Let's not do that. Okay, runway's coming up over there. We'll go into our second notch of flaps. We'll roll up before you enter our flap there. And we'll basically keep this turn going. Bram Traffic, it's Foxtrot Yankee Alpha Lima, turning final runway 33, full stop. Actually negative, it'll be touch and go. We'll do a touch and go. Wide on the turn. It's okay. We'll get more used to it as we go. Now, I did a couple circuits earlier, and I found that go flap full. I found that roughly 80 miles an hour. It kind of like to roughly approach around 80. So I'll be approaching around 80, and if anyone knows otherwise, I can change it. But for the most part, it seems to work, and I've gotten all trimmed out now. That if I basically let go, the airplane should basically do maybe a little bit more trim nose up, tiny bit, but the airplane for the most part is going to fly what I've trimmed for. Now if I need to increase my speed, I'm going to pitch down. Watch the speed's going to start to increase. All right. If I need to decrease my speed, I pitch up. If I need to lose altitude, I decrease power. And if I need to increase altitude, I increase power. That's kind of how they all work together. Alright, runway's made. Let's go power idle. Looking all the way at the end of the runway there. And we're just going to hold it off. Hold it off. Hold it off. Hold it off. Okay, let's bring our flaps up. Let's retrim a little bit nose down. Release our yoke pressure. Get back on that center line. And away we go. So, notes to myself is I could have started less of the flaring, but we'll get more used to it as we do it.
Brampton traffic, Charlie Foxtrot Uniform Papa.
No, we did not hit that fence. Not even close, my friend. Gonna go ahead and turn our crosswind here. Bram Traffic, Foxtrot Yankee Alpha Lima, turning crosswind 33. We'll do about 2 more circuits, and then we'll have to call it a night, unfortunately. I'm definitely going to be flying this a lot more, though. It's very fun to fly these type of airplanes. Sometimes I get a little bored of them, but I am enjoying them currently. Deviation is going to join in a Piper. Sounds good. There's 1,900 feet. We're going to go ahead and decrease our power here. And we'll turn on our downwind. Bram Traffic Foxtrot Yankee Lima is turning downwind, runway 33. Track Air makes this very, very nice to fly circuits with. It's much nicer than having to move your mouse around, do all that kind of stuff. As I said, guys, though, I'm just flying this based on attitude. Nothing in here I'm using. I'm not using any of this stuff. I'm just using what's outside the window. I have 1/3 of this outside the window is ground. The rest of it is sky. That will hold me level, as you guys can see here. That's all I'm doing. So no matter what I do, bank, do this, whatever, I'm always going to reset myself back to that attitude. So take a screenshot of it if you'd like, but that attitude's called cruise attitude, and it'll get you nice and straight and level. So you do the downwind checks all again. We'll say they're completed. Right base downwind. It's probably turning downwind, I assume. Alright, we're going to wait till that runway gets to about a 45. Just about approaching roughly around there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and decrease my power. Add a notch of flaps. I'm going to go ahead and start our turn. Bram Traffic, Foxtrot Yankee Alpha Lima, turning base 33, number 1. Alrighty, we're going to get on this base leg. It's called base when you're 90 degrees to the runway here. And we do our second notch of flaps. About here. Second notch of flaps coming in. And we're going to start our turn roughly around now. Parameter traffic Foxtrot Alpha Lima is turning final runway 33. It's touch and go. Oh, that was a much nicer final turn. always using rudder for these turns as well. My rudder and aileron are working together, so as I add right aileron, my right pedal is being added. If I add left aileron, my left pedal is being added. Okay, we're getting a little high. Those pappies are more based a little further down the runway. In real life, we don't usually land right on the pappies. We're usually lower than the pappies suggest. Just about there. Now, when the runway is made, which means I can glide to the runway, I'm going to bring my power to idle. So the runway is made now. Power idle. Look all the way down the end, and I'm going to hold the yoke pressure off. Good. Got to work on my Moza yoke a little bit. The profile's a little too sensitive there, and I'm in a very small little window of moving it. But ton of right rudder to hold this off, and we can bring the airplane back in the air. Always remember to add that right rudder when you add that power in. If you don't know how much to use, you have this little thing down here. You want to keep that ball in the center. If I release my pedal, it moves to the right, which means I need right pedal. You want to step on the ball. It moved to the right side, I hit the right pedal. I wish these actually could work to cooperate in prop aircraft. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool, right? They've only had like 15 years in FSX, P3D, and Microsoft to develop that, but they remain to be the absolute worst add-on in my opinion. Let's turn crosswind 3-3. On this crosswind leg, I'm going to attempt to try and change.
November 1, Mike Juliet, radio check.
5x5. Try and change my Moza settings a little bit, so it's a little less sensitive near that part. Always want to turn a nice 90 degrees to that runway as best you can. Visually is always best, but you can use heading indicator to help. Now that's the practice area all the way down there. I want to make sure no one's coming in from the practice area because they can join straight in downwind. Ramp traffic function, I'm straight crosswind correction downwind, runway 33. Stopping ourselves at 1900. That is the downwind altitude here.
Charlie function from Papa's going around.
He's on the mist. Alright, I'm going to try to get this all nice and trimmed out, and the fact that when I can just go ahead and step away from it, just a little bit of trim. Tiny bit there, watching the horizon. Alright, that'll be good. Let's bring up the Moza app. You guys won't be able to see it, but that was hardest thing for me, relearning to fly coordinated when I got rudder pedals. Oh yeah, it's a bit of a learning curve for sure. The F-14 will help you with that though, if you fly the F-14 in DCS. I wonder if I don't think my profile is even loaded because this feels different now. I'm not sure. Because I just started the app and now it feels a bit better. Alrighty, so let's get a little wider. I'm back in the sim now, and we're 100 feet high. That's not bad. We can come back down, and we're about more than 45. Let's go and reduce our power. Flap first notch there. Ramp try Fox track. Let me turn a base runway 33 Brampton. All right, and as we turn this base, I'm gonna trim a little bit out for it as well. There's a 737 that's starting up. Classic. Alrighty, on the base leg, flap the second notch, probably flap 20, I'd imagine. We'll go ahead and turn our final leg here.
Traffic, Charlie function from Papa is going to be turning right base behind landing traffic, Brampton.
When you're low and slow like this, you don't want to do more than 30 degrees of bank. A little high, so I'm going to go ahead and reduce my power. And that's going to let the airplane, it's going to allow it to drop and hold our speed where we are. I don't want to accelerate while we drop. You can kind of think of it the same way. If you're on a highway going downhill, to hold your speed on the highway downhill, you need to take your foot off the gas. So our last notch of flaps right there. Brap traffic, Fox, yeah, I completely missed final 3-3. I just gotta get a different call sign next time. That's that's a tongue twister of a call sign. So we're back at the speed that I like, roughly 80 knots. Once the runway's made, which means I can glide the runway even if I had engine failure, we'll bring the power to idle, and then we're going to look all the way at the very end of the runway to judge our flare. So runway's made now, power idle, looking at the very end, Oh, too much. Holding it there. Hold, 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 hold. Hold, 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 hold. Nice. Flaps up. That right rudder in there. Retrim it nose down. Nice. Back up we go. That was, I think that was the best one.
Traffic. Foxtrot Uniform Papa. Short final for runway 33. Full stop.
Cruise attitude. Windows down. Stereo cranked. Elbow hanging out the window. That's it. For flaps 27, the manual says approach 90. For full flaps 90. Okay, full flaps 90. Yeah, it looks like 80 works quite well, but we can do 90. I have quite a bit of float even with 80, so I'd imagine what 90 would give me. I'm gonna go ahead and this will be a last circuit tonight, guys. Unfortunately, but this one's gonna be a P180, which means we're gonna fail our engine on the downwind, and we're gonna go ahead and have to glide ourselves back to the field. Now, I actually don't know what the oops. Okay, I don't know what the glide speed is. And I can get it here. Coming up on 1900 feet. Aircraft. Let's go ahead and turn downwind real quick. No one's coming in from the PA. Ramp traffic structure. The Yankee Alpha Lima turning downwind runway 33. Go ahead and bank. Reduce our power at the same time. Which means I can also reduce my rudder pressure that I had holding. Retrim for this.
Brampton traffic.
105 is slide. Perfect.
Alpha Delta.
I don't know why this sits so high on default. I'm going to have to change my chase plane view here. There we go. Alrighty, so say the downwind checks are done, and we'll say, oh my gosh, you know, we lost our engine. Well, first thing is we're going to trim for 105, which came up pretty freaking quickly. And there's 100.
November 1 Mike Juliet, we're departing on runway 33 on a left circuit.
Uh-oh. Last call, it's Foxtrot Yankee Alpha Lima. We're going to be coming slant final runway 33. In these type of approaches, you don't want to get your flap until the runway landing's assured, which means you're going to make it for sure. Bram traffic Foxtrot Yankee Lima, slant final runway 33, simulated engine fit off the downwind.
In November 1 Mike Juliet, we're clear of runway 50.
Okay, let's turn it a little bit more. Get our flaps in here. Oh, don't let that nose come up too much. Okay, and we're going to let it coast in the ground effect. Oh, no. I was going to let it coast in the ground effect, but that's not going to work. This thing does not glide at all. Let's try that again. That fence, by the way, guys, in real life is not there. Mind you. We're going to try that again, though. Flaps are up. I didn't think I'd find something that glides worse than a 172, but we found it.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. It was a soft field landing, don't worry about it.
Gotta go maintenance.
It does drop like a brick. Wasn't really expecting that out of this airplane. Yeah, it's a good idea that in real life that fence is not there, right? Ramp traffic Foxtrot Williams turning crosswind 33 traffic in sight. That's a very, very far circuit. That's a very wide circuit.
November 1 Mike Juliet, downwind runway 50.
And last call on downwind. Do you mind if we slide in front of you for another simulated engine failure off the downwind?
Roger that. We'll just go on a different heading. We'll go on heading 24.
Okay, thanks. We're turning left downwind now, runway 33. Have you in sight on the 9 o'clock. No factor. Yeah, this thing does not glide at all. Now, I have no way of knowing if that's correct or not. A2A is usually pretty good with their modeling of aircraft systems and flight models, so it probably is the case that it's not that great. Any traffic base or final call, Foxtrot Yankee Alpha Lima. Okay, we didn't hear anything, so ramp traffic, Foxtrot Alpha Lima, just stimulate engine failure out the downwind runway 33. It's going to be slant final 33. Alright, engine comes back. Pitch for best glide, which is 105 miles an hour, not knots. And we're going to go ahead and start turning on in. Yeah, this thing's a brick. I need 2,000 feet per minute to maintain. I don't know if I believe that. That's pretty bad. I don't know if I would believe that one. Or 105 just is not the glide speed.
One, make sure that we're turning on a long downwind.
Yeah, 105 does not seem like a good glide speed for it, but... Ramp traffic, Foxtrot Alpha Lima, slant final runway 33, full stop. Oh, let's start a recording here. There we go. Alright, so landing's assured. Let's get our flaps in. Cancel the balloon out. And we can even forward slip the rest of it away. So right rudder, left aileron right now. Gonna release our rudder. Looking all the way down. Oh, too much on my yoke, but we're just gonna hold it off. Nice. A little bit to the left center line. Alright, we're going to go ahead and exit.
And we're full stop on 933.
Go ahead and stop our replay. Go ahead and disconnect from VATSIM so I'm not in that guy's way. We're going to go ahead and bring our flaps back down. And we're going to call it there, guys. We're going to end it with a nice little slant final. We have the replay all ready for you guys. Yeah, so things to learn about this airplane is I didn't realize how much of a brick it would be. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that very short little stream. We are probably going to fly this airplane again. I had a lot of fun flying a little bit of a circuit here. But if you guys like this type of content, please do leave a like in the video here. Let me know in the comments as well if you watch it later. And lastly, first of all, let's bring this music way down. Lastly, if you guys do like this, you can text me in Discord as well, and we'll be making some more flight simulator instructor type content if you kind of like this this type of thing. So, anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and start this replay. If I can get the replay tool up and running, there we go. And resume. So what I had to do there was forward slip it. So a lot of right rudder, left aileron to make that turn go. Go ahead and give you guys a nicer view than that. Just setting it up here. We'll stop around. And we'll stop around here. So I'll bring myself back. Press play. So you can see I've assessed for a high. The runway is assured that we're going to make it. Let's get in our flaps in there. Let's go ahead and we're going to do that. There's that right rudder, left aileron, and what we're doing is we're presenting a lot of drag to this side of the airplane. It allows us to descend a lot steeper without actually increasing our speed a whole lot. Overflared it there, but that's my kind of fault with my Moza. I'm not really used to it just yet. But stuck the landing pretty well. So the second time worked a lot better. Full right rudder, a little bit left aileron. Overflare. Came down to greaser, back on. A little left of center. Anyways, guys, we'll see you guys in the next stream. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all you guys. I had fun doing this, and we'll do this definitely again for an actual cross country maybe as well. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.